You ever feel like you woke up in a different country than the one you went to bed in? No alarms, no headlines, just one morning your rights are smaller. That's not an accident. That's the play. They don't kick in the door anymore. They change the locks while you're asleep. 1 month, 10 rulings. 15 if you count the ones they buried deepest. And overnight, every gun owner in America just slid into a new set of rules nobody voted for. They call it safety. I call it camouflage. Because these aren't laws written to protect you. They're pressure points. They're tests. They want to see what you'll tolerate. They want to watch you scroll past the story, sigh, and move on. The shift wasn't one-sided. Some rulings locked the chains tighter. Others shattered them completely. And buried in that mix is a change so sharp it rewrites the fight for every single one of us. So listen close. 10 rulings, 10 survival rules. And the last one? It's the hammer they never wanted you to see coming. Rule 10. The evidence shield. The second those red and blue lights hit your mirror, you're already in the fight. Not with guns, not with fists. With words and proof. For years, it was your story against theirs. And guess who the court believed? Not you. But now the ground has shifted. September's ruling forced judges to treat the first moments of an encounter as evidence, not an afterthought. That means the smartest move isn't talking your way out of it. It's recording your way through it. 3 taps on your phone, record, timestamp, announce. It is date, time, location. I am legally carrying and I am recording this encounter. That's it. No debate, no excuses. You've just built a shield stronger than any excuse they'll throw later. Because without a record, you're gambling. With one, you're armed with something even more powerful than a firearm in that moment. Undeniable truth. Rule 9. Words that save lives. Most people don't die in a courtroom. They die in the split second before it ever gets there. A hand moves too fast. A pocket gets mistaken for a weapon. An officer says, "I thought he was reaching," and suddenly your life is a headline. That's the margin of error the courts just narrowed. Departments are now forced to review how you moved, what you said, whether you gave warning. And that flips the script. The move is simple, but it feels strange. Narrate your actions out loud. "Officer, my wallet is in my right pocket. I am reaching slowly." Pause. Move. Announce again. It's not courtesy, it's survival. Silence gets twisted into suspicion. But words turn body cams into your witness. You don't have to argue. You don't have to fight. You just have to be clear. Because in those tense moments, mystery kills, but clarity keeps you alive. Rule 8. Borders can't break you. For decades, crossing a state line could turn you from law-abiding to criminal in the time it takes to pass a welcome sign. Locked case in the trunk? Didn't matter. Hunting rifle in the back seat? Suddenly, probable cause. That trap collapsed in September. The courts laid down the interstate shield. If your firearm is unloaded, locked, and separate from ammo, you're protected under federal law. Period. No more patchwork ambushes, not New York, not New Jersey, not anywhere in between. Because the right to travel doesn't vanish at a border. Picture it, blue lights in the mirror. Before, that stop could wreck your life. Now the law rides with you. They can bluff, they can posture, but they can't twist geography into guilt anymore. The highway is yours again, and the map no longer belongs to them. Rule 7. The castle line. Your home used to be your shield, until one crack in the door turned it into their playground. For years, cops leaned on implied consent. A knock, a friendly line, "Mind if we take a look?" And suddenly your living room was a crime scene. That loophole is gone. The courts just slammed it shut. No warrant, no entry, no urgency excuse. No, "we thought it was fine." Your threshold is now a wall. Don't open the door. Don't invite a single step inside. Talk through the door or step outside and close it behind you. Because once they cross that line, every rifle, every round, every tool in your house becomes their evidence. This isn't just about wood and locks. It's survival. Your castle finally means what it always should have. Your ground, your rules. And the paper in their hand better prove it. Or they stay out. Rule 6. Silence is power. Most gun owners lose the fight with their own mouth. Not the weapon, not the law, their words. Cops know it. That's why the oldest trick is, just talk to me. Because once you start explaining, you're not defending yourself. You're building their case. The courts just flip that game. Invoke your rights once, and the balance shifts. The line is simple. Officer, I am exercising my right to remain silent, my right to an attorney, and I do not consent to searches. Say it once, then shut down. No, one more answer. No, let me explain. After that, every question they push becomes evidence against them, not you. Silence isn't suspicion anymore. It's protection. And in a world where every sentence can be twisted, the strongest defense is no defense at all. Rule 5. Bullets are protected too. What good is a firearm without bullets? For years, politicians tried to choke off ammo while claiming they weren't touching guns. Background checks on every box, serialized rounds, online bans. Rationing disguised as responsibility. September tore that mask off. The court said it clear. The Second Amendment doesn't stop at the trigger. It covers the cartridge that makes it fire. That ruling didn't just strike California's ammo checks. It knocked the legs out from New York's bans, Illinois' tracking schemes, and every state hoping to starve supply. Because a rifle without rounds isn't a rifle, it's a club. Rights that exist only on paper aren't rights at all. So next time a clerk demands paperwork for a box of ammo, remember, the Constitution protects the bullet the same way it protects the barrel. Rule 4. Erasing Big Brother's files. For decades, the ATF swore up and down they weren't building a registry. Meanwhile, millions of gun records were scanned, stored, and searched in secret databases. Quiet violations piled up, and Washington pretended it didn't exist. That game just ended. The courts ordered the purge, every digitized file destroyed within 90 days. 800 million records wiped from federal hands, and any state feeding data into that pipeline, now guilty of helping run an illegal registry. Translation: the surveillance machine just lost its eyes. This isn't paperwork, it's power. Because if they know what you own, when you bought it, and where you keep it, you don't really own anything. Now those files vanish. That database goes dark. For the first time in decades, the burden shifts. The federal government isn't watching you anymore. They're blind. And blind regulators can't control what they can't see. Rule 3. One permit, 50 states. For years, your carry permit was like a coupon, valid in one state, worthless in the next. Cross a border into New Jersey, California, New York, and suddenly you weren't a citizen with rights. You were a suspect with paperwork that didn't count. That wall just cracked. The courts ruled that carry permits fall under the same full faith and credit clause that makes driver's licenses and marriages valid nationwide. If you're licensed in Utah, it counts in Manhattan. If you're licensed in Florida, it counts in LA. No more patchwork traps, no more register when you arrive. For the first time, your right to carry travels as far as you do. And that's why the meltdown is real. Anti-gun states weren't forced by Congress, they were forced by the courts. The excuses are dead, the reciprocity is law. One permit, 50 states. The borders don't shrink your rights anymore, they extend them. Rule 2. No more safety excuses. 3 words let officers bend the rules. Officer safety. It was the catch-all excuse. Take your gun, just for the stop. Pat you down without cause. Delay, detain, even seize. All justified under that phrase. That shield cracked in September. The courts ruled safety isn't a blank check. Vague feelings don't override the Constitution. If an officer wants to disarm you, they need real, immediate, specific threats. Not hunches, not guesses, not for my comfort. And that changes everything. For years, those words flipped your rights into their discretion. Now they flip liability back on them. Cross the line without evidence, and they're personally exposed. The free pass is gone. Safety isn't suspicion anymore. It's fact-based, or it doesn't count. From now on, the badge can't erase your rights with 3 words, and anyone who tries pays the price. Rule 1. The badge pays the price. For decades, the badge was a shield, not just for protection, but for immunity. Kick down the wrong door, seize the wrong gun, and force a law later ruled unconstitutional? The officer walked away clean while taxpayers footed the bill. That era is gone. The courts ripped that shield away. From now on, if an officer or federal agent tramples your Second Amendment rights, the liability isn't on the department. It's on them. Personal lawsuits, career-ending judgments, savings wiped out. Insurance companies already backing out because the risk is too high. And here's the ripple. Chiefs are warning their ranks, unions are panicking, and agents are second-guessing every order from D.C. because the next routine arrest could bankrupt them. The badge isn't protection anymore. It's a price tag, One reckless move, one unlawful seizure, and it's their house, their pension, their future on the line. The leash just snapped, and for the first time in decades, the weight of the law sits heavy on the enforcers, not the people. So, there it is. 10 rulings in 1 month that shifted the ground under every gun owner in America. That's the danger, because the same people who lost today are already planning tomorrow's workaround. They'll rewrite, repackage, and rebrand the same restrictions until they slip past you unnoticed. That's why silence is deadly. If you don't know these rules, you're the test subject. If you do know them, you're the resistance. So stay sharp, stay loud, and stay free. Now, I want to hear from you. Which rule hit you hardest? Drop it in the comments, because this battle isn't finished. It's only just beginning.
Listen!